Alright, welcome back. So this video is going to be a little different. We're not in the shop today. I'm out here working on a 657, or it used to be a 657 till they pulled the rear motor off. This belongs to a buddy of mine. We're going to do ran low on oil, so we're going to drop the pan and see what the bearings look like. If that's all good, then we're going to go ahead and pull the radiator, and we're going to pull the front cover off, timing cover, and we're going to reseal that and put a new main seal, new timing cover seal, and then we also need to change the compressor on it too. That's where they ran low on oil. They got a hole in the compressor. So years ago I used to own a bunch of these with my family, me and my brother and my dad. We had 19 of them. And what's cool is the serial number on this one is 91Z333. I used to own 91Z332 and 334, which is really cool. I don't know, it's just weird with me with numbers like that. Kind of see them all built at the same time. And but I sold those way back in like 2006. 2007, somewhere around there, when we switched over to the articulated rock trucks. But anyways, we're going to work on this. It's a C18. This one's been repowered twice. The lame state of California paid someone to repower it to tier 1 at one point, and then it's been repowered to tier 3 with that C18, and I imagine one day it'll go to tier 4 with taxpayer money, of course. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and drop the pan, the belly pan, and then we're going to drop the oil pan and see what we can find in there. You can see how tall these things are. I can't quite touch the top of the tire. And you can see in here it's got, it was a 657 for one reason. It's got 2 rams in here. If it was a 651, it would have 1 ram in the center. But with the 57s, they had to go to 2 rams because the engine and the drop box was hanging right down here in the way of where the ram would mount in the center. So this one's just been converted. Go around here to the back, you can see where they just made a plate to cover up where the transit diff used to bolt up. I'm assuming there's no differential in there. It's just blocked off. I'm surprised it still has a push-pull gear on it. You think they would have just left that off, but some contractors around here are really weird. They want you to run a 651 and a 657 together. It doesn't work. They just don't match. They think they're saving money because they got one less engine, but they have less power. They're just putting more wear and tear on all the tires on both scrapers, and more wear and tear on the 657 part of it, because it's working so much harder, where this one's only got one engine doing its job when this thing should have just a push cap pushing it. So I don't know why they do that. So we got the main belly pan dropped down, and we found the problem with the air compressor. Here's one of the rods. So I was told it just had a small hole in the compressor. I have a feeling the compressor's probably, I don't see where it came out of there. Maybe it's on the inside half of it. Yeah, you can see where the oil was spraying on the engine, but that compressor went catastrophic. And here's a cool little connecting rod. I'll bring that one home for a souvenir. So we had planned just to drop this down and then take the pan off and check it first. But it's such a friggin' mess in here. We're going to drop the pan off all the way, and then I'm going to find out if we can start it so we can just back it up about 10 feet so we can get out of this mess. Wow, it's been a long time since I worked on one of these. Alright, so we got the pan off, and then we pulled 2 of the main caps out just to see what they look like, and they're not bad because they ran this thing nearly out of oil. It had a few gallons left in it. He estimates about 4 gallons, and that was there from before, and that's just typical. That's just a wear mark. There's no ridge or nothing, and the crank's real smooth, so that's not bad. So we're gonna put the mains back on. We're gonna pull a rod cap off just to see how they look. We've just got to roll the engine around a little bit so we can get to it, and then if that looks good, then we're good to go ahead and start pulling this front cover off. We'll pull the cover and get the compressor out of there and stuff, and so let me get the camera down here so you guys can see what the bottom end of this looks like. This is a Cat C18. It's programmed for 600 horsepower, and this replaces a V12. This originally had a 3412 direct injected engine, and then it was converted once to a 3412 Huey engine when it went to tier 3, or I'm sorry, tier 1, and then now that it's tier 3, it's this C18. And it's got this crazy separator plate here. This thing's a 1/2 inch thick, so it's obviously gives it some structure. Usually I drop a pan, and if you see a separator plate, it's usually like 1/16 inch. It's not tin, but it's a little thicker than tin. But this one's crazy. So, and we are also going to pull the oil pump apart. We'll dig this stuff out of the screen. Put a bit of rubber in there. So we'll pull the pump apart so that we can see if there's any damage to the pump. And if that's all good, we know the bottom end's going to be good. Then we'll go ahead and do the gear cover on the front of the engine. All right, so he's got the 4 bolts out. I'll wipe it up. You can see some scratching in there. God, there's like gritty and nasty oil. Yeah, those are just marks. I can't feel them. Let's see what the journal looks like. So you see what the journal feels like. The journal's really smooth. This looks good. The bottom end's fine. It didn't get hurt from the lack of oil. So I'm going to plug the laptop in, get ET on this, so I can see if this thing logged any low oil pressure faults or over temps or anything like that, just to make sure where we're at. And then, yeah, that'll all be part of it. All right, so I pulled the oil pump apart. I just pulled the back plate off. It's got one decent scratch all the way around that, right on the edge. Something must have went through it, but the gears look good. I'll pull the idler gear out of it. It's still got color to it, like from when it was new. And the inside looks really good too. And down in here on the wear surface, so there's it like that. And then one other area to check is the side here in the body. Yeah, it looks really good. Because what'll wear on these is the surface here on the edge of the gear, and where it rides here, and then in this body. And that's where, when the gear rotates this way, and the oil gets, well, actually, yeah, it rotates this way. The oil comes in this side, and it gets into these pockets on the teeth and gets pulled around. And then when it meets the other tooth, let me slide this in, it gets the other gear squeezes the oil out of it, and then it forces the oil to come out through the pressure side. And then this is the pressure relief that, you know, limits. If it builds too much pressure, this will back off and squirt some of the oil out so you don't overcharge it. Because if you over pressurize the system, you'll blow something somewhere, and you'll make it real, you'll lose all your oil. So yeah, the oil comes in here, it gets sucked in here, it gets stuck in these, like, you know, between the tooth and the body. So if you have wear in the body or real deep scratches in the body, when it goes to rotate around, and as it comes around, it, you know, this tooth is going to go into here. It's going to squeeze the oil out. If there's lines in here or wear in here or across here or here, it'll squirt the oil back through. It'll squirt the oil back across wherever, and then you won't build up as much pressure. But when it's in really good shape and everything's nice, the teeth are, you know, the gears are smooth like they should be, the body's smooth, the faces are smooth, it forces that oil to come out through here. And this system's going to run like 60 psi or whatever, but a pump, the same pump, if you set it up right, you could run 3,000 psi. I mean, that's how much is actually forced out of these gears, because there's nowhere for it to go. It can't go anywhere but into this chamber and squirt it out. So that's how that works. And this little scratch isn't going to hurt a thing. It's not going to hurt much. I can feel it, but I can't even see where the gear did it, which is good. So I'll probably polish it off just a little bit, and it'll be fine. It'll be good. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the pump back in, and then now we can. And we did check the rods and the mains; they look good. So our next thing now is we're going to pull the compressor off because it's trash, and then we're going to pull the front gear drive plate, a cover off the front, because it's leaking real bad. So he just wants to do that while we're here. So it'll be getting a new main seal on the crank, and it'll be getting new gaskets and everything up on the front, you know, where it seals. So that's next. All right, so I plugged in ET, and the computer was clean. There was 3 overspeeds that happened within the last 100 hours or so, but no big deal, unless that's what killed the compressor. I doubt it. But anyways, so now what we're gonna do, normally, especially with the old engines that these had, when these had the old V12s, there was no room in here to work up in the front. But there's a lot of room to work to get this cover off. So we're just gonna pull the balancer and the pulleys off. We're gonna leave the radiator. We're gonna pull the fan structure off, pull the alternator off, and block it up and pull the motor mount off. and then we can pull this front this front cover off. And I'm hoping that that all comes out easily enough without taking the radiator off. If we have to take it off, we'll take it off, but I'd rather not. It's a lot more work. This way we won't have to drain the coolant, because we can just get the crane right here, and we'll just hook the crane right here on the fan. We can unbolt it, set it down in the shroud, and then we can pull this structure out. And I think there's going to be plenty of room to do it. I don't think it's going to be hard. So once we get that structure off, we pull this off. They call this the peanut, this cover. Then we have to remove the cam gear, and then just a series of bolts and crap in here. And the compressor. We have to do it anyways, but you do have to remove it to do this job. But obviously it's coming off anyways. And the fuel pump stays, and that's about it. So I'm not going to film all this. I'm just going to film segments as we go through. It's all about 100 degrees out here. We're out in Beaumont, Southern California. It's kind of like halfway between LA and Palm Springs. Nice place. I mean, it's beautiful, rolling hills. And it's being taken over by urban sprawl. Just a sea of stucco and clay tiles. It's disgusting. This is a beautiful place. It just gets hot in the summer. It gets pretty cold in winter. Not bad. Rest of the year, it's beautiful out here. Anyways, yeah, so it's hot out. So we're gonna just try to do the minimum we have to do the job, and try to get this thing apart. We'll get it all apart today, and then we got to order seals, gaskets, all the different stuff we need, and then we'll come back tomorrow or the next day and put this thing back together if everything goes okay. So stay tuned. I'll just get this piece by piece. I'll film it for you guys so you can see what's inside here. You know, just what's inside this diesel engine. And, you know, I'm starting another channel called Diesel Dogs, and I haven't done any videos yet, but I already have about three diesel engines, and I want to take the engines apart in the videos just to show you guys what's in them. I'm not going to rebuild them or put them back together. This is just going to be disassembly, just to see what's in those different diesel engines. And I can do other engines too, but I'm going to start with diesels. And so I might actually, once I get this video done, I might post it to both channels, get the other channel started. I've been meaning to start it for like a year now. This last year's been just kind of a roller coaster for me, so I haven't. You guys probably noticed I've put out about half as many videos this last year as I should have. It's just been crazy, but hopefully I can get that other channel up too, because that'll be really fun. Just see what's inside those engines. A lot of you guys don't work on this stuff, or maybe you do, or you did, but I don't know. I'm always curious about to see what's inside, how things work. So that's what I'm going to do with that. All right, so we've got the fan structure off, the alternator, all that stuff's off. I got the compressor off. We're just pulling the balancer and the bottom pulley, and then we'll be able to pull the cam gear. We'll pull the peanut off, get the cam gear out, and then we can unbolt the main plate, and we'll slide that off of there. It looks to me like our oil leak might actually be a bolt that was holding the fan structure. When I pulled one of the bolts out, I got a bunch of oil out of it. It shouldn't have. So either the fan, this one has a suck fan. So it's sucking air over the engine from the radiator. So possibly it was just over the time it was the pressure of the fan was throwing the oil at the bolts, and maybe it seeped in, but I doubt it. I think maybe someone put too long of a bolt in that fan structure and broke the front case. Because when I had ET plugged into this, it only had 2,800 hours on it. That's nothing. That's 2.5 years of running. That's it. So if that's it, that's cool. We'll just repair that cover, or I think my friend's got some of those laying around. I'm sure. Just change it, because I don't understand why the gaskets would be leaking on this already, unless it was a fault of Cat. Because back in 2007, 2008, we were doing repowers on some old D350Es. We took out the 3406s. They were 3406. I think they were just DIs or whatever they were, but we were putting in 3406Es, electronic, and we were putting C15s in. And so one of those, these were all brand new from Cat. One of the engines I put in, we put it in. It kind of sat for a while because we were in that Obama depression. And the first job it went to work to, way down in El Centro, it was like 120 degrees out, flies everywhere, right in the middle of summer. It was terrible. We get called out there because they said the engine made a bunch of noise and they shut it down. And on that top gear, I'll show you later in the video, but at top gear, it's got these two plates that bolt on either side of the gear, and it's got these little balancing weight things in there. And they didn't tighten them from the factory because these are factory engines, right from Cat. And all those bolts fell out and went through the gear train. And Cat wouldn't even, I couldn't get them to warranty it. The engine had 800 hours on it, maybe. I don't even know what was that. Just a couple hundred hours, and all I could get the dealer to do was to pay for half the parts, and that was it. And that was a brand new engine. So they do make mistakes on these, they do. And one of the other ones, we had about 2,000 hours on it, and it started running like crap. It had no power. It wouldn't move. We did everything. We changed the turbo. We changed the fuel pump. We were reflashed the computer. We did everything we could do to this thing to figure out why it had no power. And then finally, I pulled the peanut off the front, and I wanted to check the gears, and I was going to check the timer to see if something happened, you know. And there's an adjuster plate under that peanut, under the lower end of it. And that adjuster idler, it's a gear, it's an idler gear. You have to have the backlash set exactly right. If it's off too much, it won't run right because it throws it at the cam at a time. Those bolts were loose, and so it threw itself out of time. So that's why it wouldn't run. After literally a week's worth of work between me and my brother trying to figure it out, we finally figured that out. So I bought the tool you slide on there, and we adjusted it, bolted all back together, and I think ran like a strike 8. Ran really good. So even though it's brand new from CAT, you can't trust it, especially back in the 2000s when we started doing repowers here in California in like 2001, when they started forcing us to repower engines, you know, the equipment. And CAT was selling hundreds of engines to Southern California to repower hundreds of scrapers, you know, bulldozers and rock trucks, everything we were doing, and they were getting real sloppy. So I know I'm babbling, but I like to talk about this stuff anyways. Let you guys think about it. So if you're working on the same type of conditions, you're not just going to say it's a brand new machine. It can't be that. Well, it can. So anyways, enough babbling. I did fire the camera, so I'm going to show you guys the compressor. That's where this came from. I found one of these piston rings in the oil pan and one in the belly pan. So I don't even know if the piston's up in there anymore. The piston's not there. I can feel the reed plate up in there, or whatever that is up in the top. So the rod's here. The piston is completely gone, and there we go. So I don't know why that failed so early. It only had 2,500 hours on it, or 2,800 hours on it. So anyways, enough talking. All right, so here's the cam gear I was talking about. These are the bolts that had fallen out. We're timing it right now, so he's rolling it around off the drive shaft, and we got to line up this divot with that divot. We're almost there, just a little bit more. So anyways, there's one of these on the front of this gear and one on the back that hold these little slugs in here. Okay, hold that. Yeah, that's good right there. And all these bolts had fallen out, and all these bolts fell through all the gears, tore up all the gears on the whole front of the engine. It's a real pain in the butt. I don't know what these are for, some kind of balance thing or something. They just free float in there, those slugs. The older engines didn't have that, but they just had a solid gear. So anyways, now we're going to pull these bolts out, pull this cam gear off. We got the cam timed, and then I've already got the compressor off. We just got to get that alternator bracket off, and then we got to get some cribbing and a jack under this engine so we can get the motor mount off, and then we can pull this whole front cover off. Alright, so there's the front cover. It's in the truck. It's not cracked like I hoped it was. I was kind of hoping that's why it was leaking, because 2,800 hours it shouldn't have been leaking, so it's no big deal. We'll order up all the parts, get the gaskets, get everything, and then we will come back out, clean everything up. Actually, we're taking some of the stuff home to steam clean. Alright, so it's the next day. We just steam cleaned this front cover, and I had the suspicion that it was leaking because when I pulled the bolts out, these are the 4 holes right here, the bosses where the bolts go in to hold the fan structure. And when I pulled one of these bolts out, I had oil come out of it. And I thought that was kind of weird. It's possible, you know, just with the fan blowing oil at it all the time. But and then I looked at it, and you could see these kind of marks here left on a couple of these where the holes are, and CAT wouldn't have drilled all the way through when they cast this. It would have just been, when I went to the machine shop, they just would have drilled it and tapped and threaded it. It wouldn't go all the way through, so there shouldn't be a reason to have these marks here. So we put this plumber's putty here, poured diesel fuel in this cavity, and then just waited a minute. We sopped it up, flipped it over. Let me see if it shows it on the other side. Yeah, you can't really see the fuel right now, but when we first flipped it over, you could see this is the fuel here. It was running out. So if you ever want to find a crack in anything, no matter how small or slight, diesel fuel will find its way through anything. And so now you can even see it's opened up a little bit right there, and then right there. So that's why this was leaking with only 2,800 hours on it. So now I just talked to the owner. He wants me to see if I can find a cast iron weld, or or an aluminum welder to weld this cast aluminum. If not, then we'll just have to find another cover or JB weld it or do something. I'm not sure what he wants to do yet. Engine. See the main seal, you have to kind of tweak the main seal to get it apart. I didn't pop that back off yet. We have to cut there's like an inner band we have to get off and stuff. And I haven't, you have to have an installer to put a new one in. I do have that back in the shop. So the only gear that's not here, obviously, is the cam gear. Here's the idler gear, the one that adjusts the backlash for the cam gear. And that will mess up your timing real bad. So to set that, there's actually, they take a gear and they cut sections of the gear off. So you have enough gear to sit on this gear and enough gear to sit on this gear, and then you set your backlash, and then you're able to tighten these bolts on this plate. This plate slides. You can see the notch there, and so you have to slide it and get just exact backlash. And with the gear on there, you can't tighten these, but with that special cutaway gear, then you can tighten these, and that's how you set the backlash. And if this comes loose, you'll throw the timing off on that, and the thing will not run. It will have no power at all. It'll just barely rev up, even in neutral. So that's about it. That's good. Yeah, actually, that's it for this video. Like I said, we're gonna take a bunch of the parts home and steam clean them. We'll get this cleaned up when we come back, because it's gonna get dust on it and stuff. I know a lot of you guys will look at this and say, "Oh, you just ruined the engine. You got dust in it. You can't do that out in the field." I've done this many times. It's fine. We'll put it back together. It'll run for a little bit. Change the oil. It'll be fine. I've done it many times and never had a problem. So I know I've got comments from some of you guys that think you have to wear a white lab coat and gloves and stuff to even touch something like this. You really need a better education if you think that. If shop mechanics sometimes think that they're the only ones that know how to do it, you got to do it in their sterile environment. This happens every day out in the field working on stuff like this. It's not ideal, but it's just what it is. It's what you have to do. I'm going to pull this whole engine out just to bring it in to change a gasket on the front timing cover. It'll be fine. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, please. Share the video if you know someone that's interested in this kind of stuff, and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you. Have a good day. And it didn't get hurt from the lack of oil. I am going to plug my laptop in. Ow.
Oh, I did that too.
Stupid hinge is sewn weld on it.